Hi everyone, so going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. I wrote a lot of notes, a lot of stuff happened last episode, and there's a lot of things I want to talk about. So first, a recap from the previous episode. It's been a bit, I think skipped a week for the holidays, but yeah, just a reminder, Nicole got medically disqualified, Wes went home, Devin decided to steal Tori on the basis of keeping your enemies closer, and he's obviously on a high from his win. So I didn't know that Tori and Anissa had such a close friendship, such a close bond. I didn't know there really was an alliance there, which I find very interesting. We see the whole Fessy and Tori thing. I heard about the drama that her engagement is off and that she was on vacation with Fessy. I mean, let's face it, Tori is totally Fessy's type, dated Haley, blonde, you know, so I could totally see him being attracted to her, and he even admitted it. But I think at this point, it still says that she's engaged. So I'm not sure about the whole drama there and what exactly happened. You can tell there obviously is some chemistry there. Jay is really floating this season. Besides everything that went down this episode with Josh, he was floating until then. But yeah, last season he was struggling a lot since he was a newbie. He kept getting thrown in, and he really proved himself until he eventually went home. But yeah, they kept voting him in, and eventually you're gonna get something that does not play to your strengths. His alliance, you know, he has one. We see that he has some type of relationship with Casey and that big brother alliance, but him and Josh clashing and Josh just not trusting him just puts him in a pretty bad situation. Big T is so sweet. I love her positivity and the energy she brings. She's like a ray of sunshine. I do genuinely think she is a really good person, and I love that we get to hear more about her story and her background. She has gone through a lot and has persevered. I don't know how that conversation led to Devin being upset at Amber M and bashing her and telling her to leave. I don't know where that came from, and it was uncalled for and wrong place and time. Nobody was really backing him up, and it was just really awkward. I think that there must have been something that happened on the show between them at some point, because it seemed pretty uncalled for him to go after a female like that. There must have been some type of clash, or maybe he's just in a mood. Maybe he was just on this high from winning, which we obviously see that he is. He's definitely on a power trip. But I do like how she did not give in to it and she didn't walk away. She stood her ground. Of course, Nelson ran to Devin to see what was going on and the whole reason for this. I thought definitely a fight would happen since they're both kind of hotheads. But it didn't really happen, but he ran to him while he was sleeping, so obviously that conversation did not go smoothly. I definitely think that there was something between Nelson and Amber M. Definitely there's a reason why he chose her. She's a rookie, small, and doesn't really seem all that athletic. I mean, she's from Are You the One, right? So definitely think he chose her because she's attractive. Liv was medically disqualified now, which I found weird that she wasn't medically disqualified before. Maybe there was something that we didn't see, that they didn't see, and maybe she was just feeling bad. Whatever it was, she was medically disqualified. They really didn't show her. It was just like, okay, she's gone now, and Mickey, whatever, I'm not really sure how to say it, is a rogue agent, which obviously doesn't put him in a great spot. So the challenge consisted of flying drones and memorizing, and I thought it was hilarious. TJ Lavin was having way too much fun with it. I would have been having fun too, because most of them failed, and most of them cannot communicate and fly drones. Obviously it was hard because you can't really see. But yeah, a lot of drones were probably harmed in this challenge. To begin with, Kyle was struggling to move the drone around. It was pretty funny, him and Cam just struggling, and then Nelson kept crashing into things and they both failed the mission. Darrell got the drone stuck, and so did Josh and Nani. So Darrell and Amber B and Josh and Nani were unable to complete it. Leo and Gabby blew it just about instantly, and then Jay and Teresa did as well. At this point, I'm like, is anybody gonna complete this? Is this impossible. Like, how is nobody able to do this? Not saying that I would be able to do it, but I was like, come on, can somebody do it? Just so I could see what happens in the next step. I thought maybe the Leroy, Casey, and CT and Big T, maybe we could have gotten something, but no, they both failed it. I thought for a second, but yeah, they couldn't get it done. So it's funny, Tori and Devin hate each other, but obviously Devin wanted to take Tori because she's a good competitor, and obviously that would connect him to another part of the house and keep his enemies closer. It's funny that they don't like each other, but they were still able to communicate and get it done and be the only ones to get it done. They surprisingly work well together. Corey and Natalie, however, on the other hand, were failing, and they're just there looking like, what is going on? So Fessy and Anissa, Fessy wanted Anissa to fly the drone, and I found it interesting that she said that Fessy wanted her to do it because if she failed, then it would be her fault. That's very likely true. I mean, it's obvious Fessy does not want to work with Anissa, and I know the first opportunity that he gets to switch partners, he's going to do it. Lolo and Nam trying to communicate was hilarious. She's just so aggressive. She was just not able to communicate with him, and he's not understanding. But he's still so patient and calm about it. I would have been like, stop yelling at me. But yeah, it was very intense. But at the end of the day, you know, both failed. Tori and Devin were the only ones to actually complete it, so therefore they win, which puts them in an interesting position because now they actually have to do something and decide who they want to go in, and they're clearly on very different sides of the house and they're going to want very different things. So yeah. Tori again was talking about going against a weak player. She really wanted to go into elimination, especially if it's against Amber M, and she's like, Amber M is a weak player, I could go against her, especially if it's like a hall brawl or whatever. And to me, this is very reminiscent of last season when she went against Jenna and she felt, I think that's what happened, right? And she felt that Jenna was just going to give up and want to go home, so she was going to be able to beat her, and it just didn't work out like that. I feel like with my pride, it'd be a difficult thing to say because you could be like, oh, I want to go against the weak player, and then when you actually do, whatever happens and you don't win, you just look bad. And plus, I wouldn't want to be calling people weak players. I'd feel bad about it, but it is what it is. But Big T saying it's annoying is, I mean, yeah, it is annoying. We don't know if it's a guys or girls elimination, just like last week. I think this week was a little bit more confusing as to what it would be. We know that Nicole was medically disqualified last week, so it was a guys elimination. So it's very likely that the same thing was going to happen. But I don't know, in my head, I thought maybe they'd be like, let's throw them off, let's do a girls elimination anyway, and then get rid of two guys next week. Somehow that's what I thought was going to happen. Devin had a conversation with CT saying that he wants revenge and he wants to go after the Big Brother people. And you could tell in CT's face, it's just like, okay. As long as it's not me, like, just want to make sure, like, I'm not going to get thrown in there. Okay, cool, bye. Obviously, Devin and Tori butting heads about who they want to go in. Devin says, okay, you could save 3 groups, I'll save 3 groups, and then we'll decide from there. But it was still not going smoothly because even after she saves 3 groups, he mentions, like, Josh, and she's like, no, like, let's save Nani. I don't want Nani to go in. And then Tori wants to throw herself in, and Devin's like, no. And at first I was like, why is he, like, upset about Tori throwing herself in? Like, what does it matter to him? But again, they don't know if it's a guys or girls elimination, so she could throw herself in, but it's really the group being thrown in, and then, you know, it could possibly be a guy's elimination and he has to go in again. But yeah, obviously Devin has something against Josh and he wants Josh to go in. Thought it was funny, Fessy feeling Gabby now that he can't have Tori, but Gabby sees through it. She's actually smart, so she's like, and you know, Fessy's full of himself. It's, you know, he's an attractive dude. It happens, but she's just like, I'm attracted to you, but you're kind of annoying. Amber M's commentary on it was pretty funny. Josh's whole thing about not trusting Jay was hilarious and just too much. Just, I'm like, why are you picking fights again? Like, relax. Even Casey's like, it just came out of nowhere, very aggressive and accusatory, and Jay's obviously like, what? There was just no point for him to draw the line between their friendship and alliance. In this game, You need the numbers. But yeah, Josh does not want to work with Jay now and he wants to go against him. And I thought it was funny. Jay's like, yeah, me and Josh just aren't friends anymore. And the rest of the alliance is just trying to mend it and be like, what is going on? I know how Amber M feels to be underestimated for being smaller, and she's also a newbie. But yeah, just as Corey said, nobody's scared of her. Nelson tried it, but obviously Kyle and Fessy still have this clash, this enemies thing going on, so they voted for each other. But, you know, neither one of them are going to go in. Really, it's coming down to Nelson and Amber M, and then Jay and Teresa. Amber M and Nelson were eventually compromised, and a lot of people voted for them. When Devin and Tori were looking at the people who voted for them, they were like, wow, it's actually a lot of their friends. I feel bad for Nelson because I definitely do think he's in this position because of Amber M. But maybe next time he shouldn't have chosen someone based on how they look. I don't know. Maybe going with a newbie wasn't the best choice. So TJ does not want to tell him if it's a guys or girls elimination before Tori and Devin decide if they want to go in or who they want to put in against the compromised agents. It definitely keeps it more interesting. Tori obviously wants to go in. She sees Amber M as an easy target, especially when they see it's hall brawl. But Devin obviously doesn't want to go in, and if it's a guy's elimination, he would have to go in. So eventually they agree not to. I was initially shocked to see Tori throw in Fessy and Aneesa, and I knew Devin would follow suit, but Fessy didn't look surprised. This must have been a deal they made right when they saw what type of competition, or maybe beforehand he told her, hey, if it's this type of competition, it was some type of agreement they made. He said he didn't plan to go in, but he didn't necessarily say he didn't know, you know. Definitely there was some type of deal and he wanted to get his Red Skull. Josh was then pissed that he didn't get to go in. But before that, he was mad because he didn't want to go in and he didn't want to be voted in. But now that he saw what it was, you know, he wanted to go in and he was like mad about it. You can't win, I guess. Tori said she wanted to help her friends, help out Aneesa and Fessy, whichever one goes in. And then we find out it is indeed a guy's elimination, so Fessy will be going against Nelson. And I felt bad for Nelson. He has a bit of trauma from this type of elimination. I love Nani getting annoyed with Josh's wow, because he was so angered and being so loud, and Nani's like, just stop. Fessy really did say, screw it, I'm going against my friend, and he said he wanted to play a strategic game this season, and I just don't see it. He's gonna go back into the house with more enemies than he had before. Fessy was definitely playing dirty in this. Even TJ was like, Fessy, stop playing dirty. I thought Fessy would have been better at this. I thought it would have been a very easy win for him, but Nelson was definitely putting up a fight, which is hard because Fessy's huge and, you know, he played football. It was close, but Fessy got the first point, and I think at that point it's a lot harder to recover. It's just faster, bigger, and he was definitely playing dirty. He wanted that win and he was willing to do anything for it. He really came into this season saying, I will do anything to get to the final. It's just, he put himself in a bad position because now nobody's going to trust him. He went against his own friend, which I get. You want to do everything possible to win and you really are thinking of yourself because you want that money, but it's not the way I would have gone about it. And it just looks bad, especially since he has to go back into that house with people that are upset at him. And I felt bad for Nelson. He was taken out by his friend. And then Fessy after the fact tries to like hug him and whatever. And Nelson's like, no, don't touch me. And one of my favorite parts of this episode, it's mean, but it was funny, was the face that Fessy made when TJ said he could decide to stay with Aneesa or take Amber M. And he made like a face. He was like, I was like, oh my god. No surprise, Fessy chooses to leave Aneesa, which we all knew would happen eventually. And he was like, yeah, you know, Aneesa, like, I'm obviously gonna look out for you, but we all know that somebody's gonna take me at some point, so I guess, you know, now is the time. So I'm just deciding my own fate before somebody takes me. Aneesa's just like, but yeah, now Fessy has Casey in this whole thing, and Casey's like, now everybody that hates Fessy hates her now, and now they're just enemies together. Leroy then chooses Anissa, no surprise. Anissa's a vet, and they get along, so Amber M goes to Meki, or I forget how to say his name, but his comment on it was funny. He was like, now the two shortest people are paired together, and it just be like that. So yeah, looking forward to the next episode to see what happens. Will we eventually see an elimination between the ladies? Will they stop getting medically disqualified so we can see that? Guess we'll see. So yeah, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe for more challenge content and comment your thoughts below on the episode, and don't forget to like. Thank you guys.